Hey there, and welcome to Tour Confidential. I'm Ryan Asselta, and happy to be joined this week by Golf.com's Jeff Ritter. And Jeff, we are coming off of the Dell Technologies Championship up in Boston, the second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs, and Justin Thomas just continues his monster season, his fifth win of the year. He wins up in Boston. And Jeff, let's talk about Thomas. The year he's having, the performance week in, week out. He's now won 2 of the last 3 events, dating back to the PGA Championship, his first major of his career. How impressed are you with the way Thomas has not only gone low, we've seen that a lot this year, but he's been able to close out events and start winning these titles?
Yeah, it's impressive. He has, it may sound like a cliche, but he's taken the leap. Out of this year, you look at the top of the world rankings and you could see a lot of those guys coming. I mean, it's not surprising. Maybe to see DJ #1, maybe you wouldn't have seen that at the start of the year, but certainly you had him labeled as an elite player. You had Spieth. We knew about Jason Day. We knew Rory would hang around. But Justin Thomas is that guy that's taken the big step. And it's not like it's just happening now. I mean, he also won in Malaysia. He won at the Sony Open. I mean, his excellence is extended from the start of the season to the end of the year. And really, he has become, even though Dustin Johnson has this stranglehold on the #1 ranking, it's Justin Thomas's season, and he's closing it out now emphatically.
Yeah, it's always been about, Jordan, Rory, Dustin, and Jason. Well, Justin has played himself into that conversation, and he belongs there. The 5 wins this year have been phenomenal. As you said, he kind of spread them out over this long season. Let's talk about Spieth and Justin Thomas, because when you talk about Justin, you always bring up Jordan's name. They date back to their early days when they played as 13-year-olds, became friends. There's the picture of them as 16-year-olds. They played in the NCAA Championship together. When you look at them head-to-head, and they basically went head-to-head in separate groups up in Boston, JT was able to close down the stretch. Jordan faded a little bit, but do you think they push each other a little bit, dating back to their friendship? They talk so complimentary about each other, but is there a rivalry that they're pushing each other right now?
I think it's a friendly rivalry, for sure. I mean, the fact that they've shared each other's successes, you're inside. You're with that other friend. You're with your buddy. You're inside the ropes. You're greeting him. You're spending time. You're watching him with the trophy. You're watching him take that victory lap. You're happy for your friend, but it's also motivating for you. And I think Jordan Spieth, I think that friendship has done wonders for Justin Thomas. I mean, what was it, maybe just over a year ago, you could make a case that Justin Thomas may have been best known for being Jordan Spieth's buddy, his spring break pal. And now, he's got his own identity. I don't think he's come to the point where Jordan Spieth is now known as Justin Thomas's buddy, but the two together are, in a lot of ways linked. And Justin Thomas now has built a resume to compete with Jordan Spieth. And I think the friendship that they have is a big part of the story and a big part of both of their success.
Yeah, Thomas was never shy about saying he was happy for Jordan when he would win, but he was also jealous. He told me last year that he just wasn't having much fun out there on the golf course. And yesterday after Boston, he talked about that a little bit, saying he's changed his attitude. He's found a way to not get as fired up, to not get as angry, to let it carry over to different holes. And I think, growing into himself as a player and seeing his buddy have such success early on has helped him. Let's talk about this year, where it stacks up, Jeff. 5 wins, 1 major title. He's got a stranglehold on the Player of the Year. When you look at greatest years ever on the PGA Tour, 2009 Tiger Woods. All right, let's throw that out the window. Tiger Woods with 9 wins.
Right.
We can throw that out. But there's other comparables, whether it be Rory McIlroy, whether it be Spieth's 2 major season a couple years ago. Where does Thomas rank right now in the greatest years all time?
Boy, all time, you have to go far back to really get a handle on it. I would say post-Tiger, this was a question we talked about in the written version of Confidential this week. I think Thomas, you put it behind Jordan Spieth. In recent history, I think Jordan Spieth winning 2 majors and taking a run at the other 2 majors on the calendar in 2015, I'd put that ahead of it. There was the year in 2012 where Rory McIlroy won 1 major, but also won the money title on the PGA Tour and European Tour. And then Rory won a couple majors in 2014, but I would say I would slot JT maybe right in behind those as far as in the non-Tiger category of this millennium. So he's taken it. It's not just that he's the clear front runner for Player of the Year. He's going to win it unless maybe Jordan wins the next 2 events to close it out. But Thomas it's not just that he's taken a step forward, but he's put together a type of season that now you talk about the greatest, among the greats of this century.
And it's great. There are, as you mentioned, 2 more to go. Who knows what will happen? Jordan's finished second in the first 2 playoff events. If Justin Thomas adds another win, we could be having a whole different discussion with 6 wins. By the way, Tiger, unbelievable. 9 wins, 3 majors in 2000. That's unfathomable.
Yeah, when you go back and do the research of greatest seasons ever, and then you're reminded of what Tiger did, the fact that, and not even what he was winning 6, 7, 8 times a year, and when he wasn't winning, he was in the top 5 every week. It seemed like it was just amazing the consistency that he had.
Whole different conversation. We can have that during Tiger Watch as that heats up towards the end of the year. Jeff Ritter, thanks so much for being with us, and that's going to do it for this edition of Tour Confidential. We'll see you right here next week on Golf.com.